Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to day 20 of 30 Inks 30 Days. This is a challenge by Ink Journal to use one ink and one pen per day for 30 days all through September. So we are now 2/3 finished. We have 10 more days left. And we're actually on the 5th ink out of Ink Flight 31, which they're all Colorverse inks. And today we're doing Martian. It looks a little different here than it does on the Tomoe River paper. It blunts it up on that paper. So let's see. Let's get right over to its particular page here. We've got quite a bit to look at because I went a little crazy. Okay. Here, right here is the main page. And then I did a 3-ink comparison that I was really interested in doing. So let's see. I think we'll just start over here. So in the... Okay, well, as far as availability, it's widely available, and it's $36 is the retail price. You get 65 mils of this color, and then you get 15 mils of a color called Life on Mars, and it's a dusty kind of dark green. But let's read the Ink Journal description of this color. This color Martian, they say, a completely alien, rusty reddish orange with gold. So, yeah, it's really an interesting ink, but it reminded me of several other real popular ones that I like. So it was taking quite a while to dry, a little bit more than 40 seconds in the broad nib. I did a little bit differently in the stub nib. It was dry at 30 seconds. I was seeing shading. Let me hold that up to see if you can get you to see it. Nice, pleasing shading and line variation, and really nice, so... Okay, and then down in the fine nib, I still like the readability of it. I like the saturation. It was about, oddly, it was taking a little longer in the fine nib today to dry, so who knows why. And here's the chromatography right here. A lot of yellow in this ink. Very interesting. And then it's that rust color there at the top. My first impressions are great shading and very pretty ink, and I like it a lot. And that hasn't changed throughout the review. So this, excuse me, this was done at the end of all my testing, but still we can look at it now. I wanted to compare Colorverse Martian to Diamine Autumn Oak and Monarch. Now, this paper takes and flattens the inks, and then the camera kind of brightens them, but they're all getting the same treatment. They're all on the same paper. They were all in a broad JoWo nib from Pensive Pens that came from Australia, my Serendipity pen, so they're getting the same treatment. So at least we could keep that in mind, and it helps us to compare. So here's the chromatography on Diamine Autumn Oak. Let me hold that right up. Well, isn't that interesting? It kind of goes up into, there's a lot of yellow in it too, but then it has like a, wow, like a fuchsia at the top. I don't know if you can really see that, but I can. I see a little pinky and then goldish yellow, which kind of is reminiscent of this one, today's ink. Okay, so we see shading really on all 3 of these inks. And then the last one I did was the elusive KWZ Monarch that was a special edition, like a limited edition. So that was just fun for me to look at and see. And of course, I was surprised at this. In fact, I think it was, I was surprised. I thought that Diamine Autumn Oak was going to stay on par in terms of the darkness, but on this paper, this is Tomoe River 68 GSM, so I guess that's what it is. So let's turn it over and just see. This is ink of the day. You get, I did paint those on, so you get a little bit heavier ghosting than normal, but it'll be fine to use the back, or I can use this for something else and then go to our next I was going to say our next interview, but we're not actually interviewing the inks, we're profiling them. So we'll push this aside and get the Rhodia paper. This is Rhodia 80 GSM dot grid paper. Oops, got a bookmark in there somewhere. And this ink looked really good on here, I thought. It did perfectly fine. Still was taking a while to dry, more than 35 seconds. had quite a bit of shading and line variation. You know, it looked really nice, I thought. Okay, it wasn't dramatic shading, but I liked it. 25 seconds, it was almost dry in the stub nib. Okay, which puts it, well, close to the Tomoe River paper. And then over in the fine nib, well, it was almost dry at 25 seconds. That nib was having a good day, I guess. Good grief. Note, nice in all 3 nibs. Yeah, the color and the flow and everything, I really like it. And yet, it doesn't have the warmness. It's not quite as warm, anyway, to the eye as some of the other inks that I like KWZ Monarch and some of the browns, too. But, okay, there's that. Now, as far as CVS caliber paper is concerned, here's that. This is a relatively inexpensive little notebook, 5x7 size, available at CVS pharmacies. So in the broad nib, oh, wow, yeah, it was just going to take a while, I guess. And I don't, even the book recorders where you can record that stop at 30. So I'm just going to say it's take a while and you got to watch out. And then in the stub nib, it was almost dry at 35 seconds. Still got, I got the best shading in the stub nib on this paper. Better than in the broad or the fine. Then in the fine nib, somewhere right after 25, something must have happened because there's my little X and I didn't finish counting, but it was very close to dry there. So let's start looking on the backs. We got just a little bit of ghosting on the back of the CVS caliber. No problems. And here, same thing, really good paper and it doesn't go through, it doesn't ghost or anything. And then, okay, back onto here, Tomoe River 68 GSM. We'll go backwards this way too. It just had some ghosting, but nothing bad. And then, of course, over here it wasn't fair because it was painted on pretty heavily, but that was just because that's kind of what I like to do, just to look at them all side by side like that. Okay, this is 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. Here it is in the stub on both. Let's see how it compares. You know, it's Anyway, there it is. You know, the splatters were pretty. Very interesting how it came out. I like doing that, actually. That's a lot of fun. So we have our chromatography down here. And here is the result of the bath test. It's definitely a typical, Martian is a typical fountain pen ink, and it just vanished. It'll be super easy to clean out. Yesterday's Colorverse Opportunity, that beautiful, this color here, was it, you know, cleaned out beautifully, and there was the result of that. Okay, so let's get out our comparison panel, see how that looked. Okay. If I can get it all in there, hope so. Okay, well, sort of. As long as you can read those names, those color names, that's the main thing. Right in the middle is Colorverse Martian. And I just love this color family all the way around, whether it gets lighter, darker, rustier, however it moves. I seem to really enjoy this color family. So what I had thought was, well, this is a pricey ink for me, the Colorverse Martian, and I thought, well, maybe the Diamine Autumn Oak would be good, and it is. It is good. I've got to do a little more testing though on different papers because the 68 GSM Tomoe River paper is not a daily paper for me. It's the 52 GSM I write letters on, and a Clairefontaine-like paper, which is the Hamlin Optic. I use that quite a bit for letters too. So I need a little more testing. But then, of course, the one that isn't being sold right now, and I don't know whether it'll come back, the KWZ Standard Monarch is my favorite. And it looks orange. You know, it does look orange. These are forms of orange, I guess, here, most of them. Copper Noir is a little different. It's more of rusty color, more red in it, but... But these are neat. And okay, we're going to be doing this probably in October. Pure Pens. That's part of the Celtic set. So that a pen friend sent from the UK, and so we have those. So I thought I would include it. It gets a little lighter, but it's in that same family, I think. And we've got a shimmer ink down here, the J. Arbonne Coraline de Egypt. That's a shimmer ink. Lighter, different, but still. And then we've got our bright Noodler's Habanero. That's a warm, warm color too. It's even brighter than the KWZ Standard Monarch. And then Kaweco Sunrise Orange. That does a lot of the same things that some of these other inks do, even though it looks so bright here. Well, yeah. I know it flattens out a little bit on Tomoe River paper. And then here's Noodler's Golden Brown. I thought that was worth a little bit of a comparison. So this is all I have. I don't have extras today because really it would get extreme. Anything else that doesn't fall on here, and I don't have that many. This is a nice color group though. And I've really enjoyed working with this, and we'll continue all the rest of the today. It's a happy Friday. I thought maybe we'd try the Nick Stewart technique because I just don't know what'll happen, and kind of fun to find out. So I have visual journal, some paper. Oh, and the water today. The water is gorgeous. It looks like Kool-Aid. Oh, isn't that something? Okay, we get to have a pen and another pen, and cleaned paintbrush and a water brush. I didn't use that yesterday, but you never know. Today we might. And be right back. Ink sample was hiding. So the little holder that I showed yesterday, the white one with the little plumbing part, is in for to be glued. Manuel said that it's not the right glue that I used, and I knew that, but I knew that glue, that hot glue from the hot glue gun, can peel off. So I figured if I hadn't used the right lid, I didn't want to use like super glue or whatever. But he's got like a Gorilla Glue he's going to use for that. And I'll let you know how that all works out. And this worked out really good this morning. Of course, this is still hot glue gun too, but I'll keep practicing with this and make sure this is where I want it. I put some magnets to weigh it down, and it worked really super good. This is the Ink Miser. Okay, let's do this little thing here. Oh. Huh. It's funny when you think you have one brush and you don't, you have a different one. My sink area is where everything collects, so no problem. Here we go. Get this water put on and see what happens. Colorverse Martian. I gotta make sure it's the right one because I had 3 vials out here a little while ago. Oh, okay. Did we use enough water? Thought we did. Whoops. Okay. Ooh, that's spooky looking. Cool. We really never know what we're gonna get, do we? Oh, I guess that's the fun of it. Let's see whether, I like to see whether when it gets out to the edges what it does. Oh my goodness, this is interesting. All right. I wonder if I have enough water. Let's see if I can see where the water is there. Okay. Huh, interesting. Not quite like yesterday. Yesterday it really spread, but that's still pretty darn cool. Let me see if I can help it. Yeah, that's nice and wet. I like this brush. Actually, it works almost like it has a plunger and it works like a syringe, so pretty interesting. It came in one of the past ink flights, and I've yet to, whoa, oh nice. I don't know if you could see that, but as I hit parts of it, it really took off. Huh. And it made very subtle lines there. You can hardly see them, but they're there. Okay, let's try like a bottom layer to it. Oopsie, picking up something there. First, I think I'll use the broad nib. Oh, that's what I like. I truly do like it to move like that. So the chromatography is going to be interesting. As it's drying, I'm seeing that highlighter yellow, kind of a yellow, sort of like what we saw in the chromatography, which makes sense. Huh. Okay, let's see if there's any hope of detailing up here. I don't know for sure. I hate to touch it, but we'll find out. No, not so much. Not there, but oh, okay. Let's try it over here where it's a little wetter. Yeah, we can still get something over here. Nice, not bad. Let's make a different height. Oh, that's a lot of pressure to draw a tree trunk all the way down like that. Won't be very straight. Oh well. Nice. I don't mind this at all for this technique. I like it a lot. It dried more over on this side, so I'm not going to bother just yet, because from experience I know that if I go making dots over there, it's not going to do much. This is nice. So this is Colorverse Martian. All right, so we got it. And let that dry, and tomorrow we'll get to see it anyway, because we'll be working right over here. So speaking of tomorrow, which it's nowhere near there yet, but I do want to show you what I'll be writing with on Saturday, the 21st of September. It's this pretty green called Arabella, and I guess it's from the 4th season. So the first 5 we did were from Colorverse's 5th season, the Red Planet, and this is one that I need to kind of research, look into, and try. So there's just 2 left. Actually, both are green that are left. So Saturday and Sunday are going to be green. Awesome. A green weekend. Can't argue with that. Okay. So how, or do you have any thoughts about today's ink? I like it. I said a lot yesterday about pricing and stuff, and every once in a while I will buy an ink that's too expensive, but I've been really super looking into what would be an alternative that would get me into that warm orange kind of color. And I know there are more. There's one pen friend that mentioned Robert Oster Burned Orange, and that's in my Goulet cart, you know, just kind of waiting for some time when I order something else. And I think there are a few more suggestions too that I've been jotting down in my commonplace book. So it's not like I've tried every one there is, but I do tend to take quite a while to figure out if I'm going to, you know, if I'm looking for a new color group like this. Because I have a little small bottle of Diamine Pumpkin, which is just, you know, bright orange, brighter than habanero. So I'd love to hear what you think of Colorverse Martian, or anything else you want to talk about in the comments. And I'll see you tomorrow with our departure from these colors and into green, which will make several of you happy. This is Saturday, the 21st, and then Allen Hills, it will be the 22nd. So I'll see you back here. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.